Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jinxie Girl, your bona fide restreamer tonight. Joining me is He's Just a Boy and Math Girl 718. Today we are restreaming Jack Harris versus Mr. DNA. This is a round 3, game 1. So without further ado, I will hand it over to our very noteworthy commentators. Take it away.
Hey everybody, welcome to Zelda Speedruns. We have a Challenge Cup match today versus Dracaris versus Mr. DNA. It's game 1 of the set, and it should be an exciting one, I think. Our tracker today is Norinato, and Math Girl is the other commentator with me. This race should be getting going in about 30 seconds.
So, what kind of things are we looking to see today, Fuchsia's Boy?
I'm more of a runner, so I prefer the nicer seeds. Hopefully not make them go to Aghanim. I do like the pedestal though, but I mean that doesn't happen very often.
Oh boy. And we're off. Let's see what's in this house. Ooh,
A
a glove
glove.
to start things off.
All
Alright.
right. Oh, Dracaris is going for the bombs from the rock.
Yep, so every time you lift that rock, you have a 50-50 chance of getting a bomb. Not getting really lucky. There's one. Okay, we've got Green Pendant, Eastern Pendant Era, and 5-6 at Desert, I believe.
Yep, that's all right. And Mr. DNA has given us the uncle check, while Dracaris is looking like he's gonna head over and dip into Sarashahala's closet. And we also get bombs.
Nice. That's a good start.
Yeah, save a little
Always
bit of
nice
that
for-
time from farming.
Let's see what's in here. It's gonna be 10 arrows, piece of heart, and 10 more arrows.
And 20 bucks in the back of Sanctuary. Mr. DNA opts out of going into the back of Sanctuary, and continues up to check Lumberjack.
Boy. Let's see what's here, because we've seen this have stuff a few times this tournament already.
Dracaris is going to be upset to see bombs if he just went to Uncle.
Oh no.
I think that's 6 or 7 failed attempts.
Bottle. So, probably not required, but it could always be the first bottle.
Yeah, I don't mind seeing bottle there. You're most likely not going to need it, but you have the knowledge. Not really that useful.
Yeah, probably not going to be getting that today.
Aghanim tends to not be for the Lumberjack, but just to get into the Dark World. And Dracaris has given us the back of Escape.
Oh boy, let's see what's here. And in these drop down just a piece of heart. But maybe the back of Escape will give us something. Moon Pearl. Okay then.
And I'm not surprised to see him save and quit. He doesn't really have anything to kill the rat with, and no way to track yourself down there can be a little confusing.
I mean...
And there's a chance that it's the map.
Well, plus, not even having bombs, there's absolutely no way to kill the rat.
Exactly, yeah. He just couldn't kill the rat. And we're getting some Village of Outcast. I'm not Village of Outcast. Kakariko Village. Blind's Hut. And there's that bottle.
Mushroom. 50 rupees. And
And
bombs.
more bombs.
Let's see what's
Those
back
50
here.
rupees were nice. Guaranteed bottle fender. And the
Ooh.
bow.
Okay. That's. Oh, wow. So, with the change to V31, bows are now progressive. You will. There's 2 bows in the item pool. Once you get the first bow, the second bow will turn into bow and silver arrows.
It's also a great weapon to have early. Um, it's really powerful. You kill things at range, and you can beat Eastern. So
Mirror
Kakariko
and a
Village paying
sword.
out with the sword. All right. Well,
Piece
I,
of heart on vendor. Sorry.
I mean, it's giving you the option of like going to two different pendant dungeons, but it's not giving you the info or the items to go to desert.
So actually, we don't have shield, but we don't have logical access to Hera
No, we don't
without the
have.
lamp or the flute.
Yeah, and I mean we don't have logical access to beat Eastern, but it's like it's telling us to go in both of those directions instead of to Crystal Dungeon.
Oh, that's never fun. It's a kid giving us money.
It's stealing the sick kid's money. And more bombs. Well, Dracaris picks up his bow.
Alright, let's see what's on the library shelf. Peanut burner. Probably not coming back for that unless they're in the immediate area.
Yeah, most likely they won't be picking that up again. And a shield.
And, yep.
And definitely not worth going back to pick that up.
No. Nope.
We'll most likely be seeing South Shore now. Or maybe Eastern. He might head that way.
South Shore.
Yeah, it makes sense. He's gonna need to find his way into the back of Escape, though. That Moon Pearl will be important.
The nice thing about Moon Pearl is that it'll lock you out fairly quickly.
It's true. You can't check too much stuff. You eventually run out of places you can go.
Also, I'm surprised you didn't do the mirror block delete there, but anytime is a thing too, I suppose.
He could have just forgot he had the mirror. Like, obviously knew he had it, but just didn't think in that moment. Oh yeah, make that switch.
Zora money. Or close to Zora money, at least.
Yeah, definitely will pick up that $20 to get even closer.
Just needs a little less than 20 rupees to get Zora money.
Well, the nice part about picking up a bow is it's a great early weapon. But unfortunately, if you find no arrows, that bow isn't going to do you any good. So, Mr. DNA will have to use bombs. Oh, he has a sword. Right. I forgot. Stackerico. And handles it nicely.
And let's see what's in here. Blue mail. Okay, that's nice. Heart. Half magic. Ooh, nice. And another heart.
So nothing all that useful. Just a lot of safety.
I mean, even though none of that is strictly required, well, half magic can be in side circumstances, but it's always nice to have those safeties.
Yep, it was a good friendly Mulderm cave. And
Yeah,
Dracarys
that's
is
a
going to
tough.
find out that he could have had 3 bombs right here.
Yep.
So I expect him to be going into escape as well. And clear it all out. No sense leaving it unchecked at this point. I'm personally a fan of going back to escape fairly early. I just like to get it off my table.
Yeah, pretty much as soon as I have a decent weapon, try to make my way over. Because if you don't do it early, you're gonna forget about it.
Yeah, it's easy to pass up because it's enough out of the way that, yeah, you just don't want to go back. I've seen a lot of races lost from missing stuff in escape.
Did actually? I guess it doesn't actually matter if you skip that guard, huh? He's already had the key from the back of escape and not going to be using it.
That's true.
Never actually thought to do that.
Yeah, that's good game knowledge. Nice way to save a little bit of time. In fact, I never even thought about doing that. Until recently, I didn't even think about the fact of you could steal that guard's key that Dracarys just killed and mirror back or death warp back and go to the back of escape with that key, and then you'd get back there anyways from finding the key in the back of escape. It's just a long-winded route that allows you to go to the back of escape if you don't have the mitts.
Yeah, but it also is rather time.
And the
Oh
hammer.
my goodness. Well, that's a nice weapon. So once we have mountain access, that's actually Death Mountain. Well,
I would be pretty tempted to sequence break it and head there right away. But I mean, Dracarys still has to do South Shore, so he'll most likely go do that. And instead of going back to Eastern, go up Death Mountain and hopefully. Well, I guess he's got Dark World access. That's interesting.
Yeah, he does.
Like he could just go to Hype Cave and then do South Shore at the same time if he wanted.
Yeah, because he's got mirror as well. Oh wow. Well, that's convenient. It's always. See, and this is. Yeah. I'm always a bit scared to go to Dark World just because health. But
and
these runners,
DNA making the right play. And he's going to be picking up his Moon Pearl and getting his Dark World access right now, too. But, yeah, it looks like Dracarys is...
Okay, we've got Pendant, Turtle Rock, and 5/6 Skulls. Of course it's Pendant, Turtle Rock. You know what that means, right?
Yeah, that means we're probably going to need to dip it.
Yep.
But judging by the 50,000 seed dump...
Ooh, hookshot. And
speaking of Turtle Rock, yeah, with the 50,000 seed dump, Turtle Rock hasn't been that likely to have a useful item. All signs point to Skull Woods. But that hook shot is a very nice find. And it looks like Dracarys is either going to check the pyramid or he is going to go straight to pod. He's going to go to the pyramid.
Alright, let's see what's here.
I'm interested to see where DNA heads now. getting his map check.
I'm gonna grab that heart container there.
All right. Looks like Mr. DNA is going to head around the southeast side or southwest side of the Dark World and do those checks and probably make his way back up to Thieves Town. And Dracaris is coming in from the other direction.
Yep. Alright.
Both will get unique mirror checks.
Yep. And let's see what's here. Ooh, a master sword.
That's nice.
Yeah. Graveyard, just triple bombs.
Unfortunate, but can't win them all.
It's good info to have, though.
It's good to check it and have Graveyard Ledge out of your brain early because it can be a really hard place to come back to.
For sure.
And we're getting our digging game.
There's bombs.
Yeah, 13 digs for 3 bombs.
Oh, we're getting a current jump.
Yep.
And gets it first try.
Nicely done. Oh, Dracaris will be turning his mushroom in as well. Kind of clearing up all of these out of the way locations. And a nice mirror bonk. Save a little bit of time, turn it into mushroom.
Yep.
A little more of a unique way to do that since you don't often mirror there. You take a ride on the duck.
Hey, I mean, with how many catfish required seeds there have been lately.
I mean, Dracaris is really hoping for something to pay off over here. It's a little bit of a gamble, maybe out of meta play to check all of these checks really early, but he'll most likely be doing the splash deletion after too.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. I think that failed because he didn't put the bombs on salt.
Yeah, he keeps dropping a bomb in the water. He needs to get 2 of them on the ground. There we go.
Got it.
And
Was
the
that a
fire
fire
rod.
rod?
Yep. Village of Outcasts, Light and Dark
And
is,
they're fake.
well, definitely never coming back for the Burna.
Yeah. Just a piece of heart there, and not enough money for Zora. So probably gonna go back to Pod. Can full clear it. It's out of logic, parts of it, but you know, or no, he's going hobo.
Taking full advantage of being able to walk on the water much faster than swimming.
the hobo got for us today?
It was $20. Stealing money from the sick kid and the hobo. And Dracarys is not done swimming. He's probably going to go all the way over to Ice Rod Cave. I think he missed that.
That's actually a decent play if so.
Mr. DNA is giving us some thief sound action. Nothing really popping up here, but he's probably still happy he's got that fire rod.
Wow, Dracarys manages to get through this without getting hit.
And big 20.
Yep. Big 20 and the peace of mind he'll never have to come back.
Nicely done through that hellway for Mr. DNA. Avoided damage all the way until the end, but pretty slick moves for not being able to dash through.
What's the attic gonna have? Bombs. Actually, I think that might be vanilla.
Or is that a compass, maybe? No, you're right. It's bombs. Yep. I've picked them up out of habit from playing rando.
Right.
It's kind of hard to break
Right,
that muscle memory when you just want to open every chest.
For sure. But headed down to blind. Hopefully, actually grabs the maiden. Seen a few runs lately where that ended up just not happening somehow. Grab the maiden. Yep, there you go.
And more bombs in the
There's
maiden's
the
chest.
It's just mirrors the maiden's hitbox a little weird. And let's see what's here in the big chest.
I think Homer's big head just kind of dominates her sprite. And
Mitts!
the Titan's mitts. That's pretty hype. Skullwoods got an item yet again.
Yep. Just unfortunate that Dracarys does not have the fire rod yet.
Well, if he finds both items, he can just come back whenever. He doesn't need to worry about it until
Is
he.
that the second item?
Nope, that was a compass.
So,
It is a 5/6 crystal though, so you don't want to put it off for too long in case you make your way to the pyramid.
tempered sword. Ooh.
I don't know if blind should be carrying a sword. That doesn't seem safe.
Probably not. Ooh,
And a
there's the second
flute.
item.
All right,
Oh,
Skullwoods is the play.
nice
But-
little.
Oh, Homer will be heading there right away with that fire rod, so he'll be able to complete the dungeon.
So, nice little fact about Skullwood's logic. Even with the key logic change, so Mothula can never have a small key, and there's only the back of Skullwood's chest and the big chest that you could potentially not be able to get if they both have keys. If you go to the vanilla big key chest, the map and then the map chest and then drop in, you'll always be guaranteed to get a small key between one of those 5 chests at least. So you'll never have to save and quit.
If I have a mirror, I tend to go to this back chest where Mr. DNA is headed, and then if I still don't get a key, I'll go and steal the one from the pot and come back.
That's also a valid play.
I'm not sure if it's the most effective, but it definitely makes me feel safer. And if I have the mirror, I know I can just mirror around and kind of skip a lot of running around at the front half of Skullwoods. I expect Mr. DNA, though, to take these mitts and head to Mothula right away. Yep.
It's quite likely. Yep.
Hopefully he comes back and decides to clean out the rest of Skullwoods, because you don't want to leave that flute behind.
Oh goodness, no. But yeah,
With
8
that-
hearts, tempered sword, blue mail. Should be fine. Go ahead. Sorry.
With that flute, all of Death Mountain is now in logic, except
Oh, man,
for
right.
the old man. But pretty much everything else is available.
Yes, Skullwoods is Value Woods once again. See how this fight goes.
Yeah, Mothula he can definitely be a pain, but with Tempered Sword, it should go pretty smooth. Only 4 hits.
Yep, but anytime you hit him back into the spikes, he does not take any damage.
That was really nice. He was able to pull the moth off the edge and bring him down into the middle of the arena right off the hop. Good fight.
Nice.
He kind of got a little bit glued to the spikes after that, but really nice opening. And Dracaris has just given us the cleanup of Thieves Town. Just gonna find some more bombs on his way to the boss.
And I think Mr. DNA is going to find a small key back here. Or maybe it's the map. I don't remember if we saw the map.
It could be the big key. Yep. And then most likely a small key as well inside the big chest. Or is that possible? No, I think that can happen. Yep.
Small key can be anywhere except Mothula.
Giving us a nice little bomb jump.
Yep.
I think he's far enough back. Yeah.
So a nice little trick that I find helps with aligning bomb jumps is to charge up a spin attack, back yourself into a pit until you start to slip, release the spin, and then tap in the opposite direction of the pit, and it'll put you on the last pixel. And there's this flute.
Yeah, and he will promptly mirror out. Probably a little bit torn. He most likely wanted to continue his. Oh, he looks like he's going to anyways continue his all of his. Why am I losing the word that I want here? Not dungeon items. Overworld checks. There we go.
Ooh, nice blind fight so far. Got a little off script, but I think got first at least 7 and maybe 8 hits in, on script.
And we are getting our duck unstuck. And I imagine Dracaris will be mirroring and doing the exact same thing. And while Dracaris cleans up Village of Outcasts, Mr. DNA has given us some new information over in the Mire area.
Let's see what the medallion will be today. It is plate for my
And there's Dracaris' fire rod.
and in the Meyer set. Have the rupees and 20 rupees.
Whole lot of red items. No cane, no medallion. Off to Desert, and then most likely Checkerboard and Agina to finish that off.
Did we ever see Desert Ledge?
We haven't seen the ledge, nope.
Alright, is it boots locked? Yes, it is, but is it part boots locked?
Maybe. Could still have the big key.
Survey says
Yes. And we're getting a Jeremiah check.
opting to not do that. Interesting.
Yeah, that is a little
I
interesting.
hope that's nothing of importance.
Oh, the book. Hey, do you need to get into desert?
Oh, goodness.
It's like, I hope you have a ladder to get this book.
Is he skipping Agina as well?
He is skipping Nagina as well. Probably way too tempted to do Death Mountain, and I can't blame him.
I hope he doesn't think that he's already done those checks. Powder? Hey! They're giving us the powder to go check their next door neighbor's house out.
That reminds me of the time that I went here with the powder, and then the Mitts gave me the hammer. I mean, the Dwarven Smiths gave me the hammer.
Yeah, just let you borrow their hammer that they were using.
Yeah, they're like, hey, you should go check that location out outside.
Just make sure you bring it back. Yeah, sure, I'll totally bring it back, after I go save the world.
But only $50 for the magic bat.
Yep.
And we're going straight to East Death Mountain.
Alright. See what's here. Oh yeah, the mirror strat. This is always a good one.
Yeah, I am a fan of this. Um, Meanwhile, Dracarys will be picking up his tempered sword.
Yep. And in Paradox Cave, red ring and 50 rupees.
The red ring, just in case you need a little extra help on that splash deletion.
Yep.
And so far, not a whole lot of anything in Death Mountain. I take that back. Now we have access to Turtle Rock if we get that medallion to fully complete it, really.
Yep.
And Jakar's finally making his way into the dam over here. Nicely using the hook shot in the same method you'd use the mirror, just to kind of skip past the chest or skip past having to double dip going into that entrance.
And we're about to see what the Turtle Rock medallion is.
This is a tough decision to make. I mean, you can make a big gamble if you found the medallion up here on Death Mountain. It's
It is Bomba.
bombos. Yeah, if you find that medallion, I mean, you don't really want to go independent Turtle Rock, but you'd have all the items to beat it. Oh, Dragonite turns green.
Shovel. Piece of heart.
That is the
Take
shiny
on.
Dragonite.
Yep. And 50 rupees.
And Super Bunny Cave, what do you got for us? More money and a net. So, Death Mountain, giving you Canis Samaria, but otherwise, not that exciting.
Yeah, but that cane will be nice.
The cane is required, so definitely a good item to find. I imagine Mr. DNA will maybe check Hera. Yeah. Oh, no, he's going to go to
Spiral
Spiral Cave.
first.
I guess leave no stone unturned. If he comes back and does the Hera, he'll also be able to check Spike Cave as well.
Yep.
I guess he doesn't have the mirror. I mean, the cape, does he? So I don't know what's
He
in his
does have a
bottle, but
blue guy, I believe, or it's either blue or red, I think. So,
yeah, if he has either a
but
healing potion, he should be able to make it through. It will be close.
17 hearts, minimum is 13.
Yeah, and continuing back up to Hera. Doesn't want to leave anything undone. It's a good call. Even though he has skipped a few other locations.
Oh, what was on Desert Ledge?
I missed it if Dracarys went down there.
He did. It's marked on his tracker. 3 bombs there. Not seeing anything new on his tracker, so maybe not a whole lot of anything.
He most likely just saw the item and dipped right back up. But we're getting the Sagina check.
And bomb or ether tablet. Just a heart container in Agina's cave.
Nice use of the mirror there in the sanctuary. It thinks you're in a dungeon still, and lets you warp out to the next entrance that you should have been at, which happens to be the entrance of sanctuary. Dracaris is definitely making good use of all the small little time-saving tricks, and they eventually add up.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Mr. DNA has given us some Herapod.
I still have not learned this, but from what I understand, it does save a little bit of time.
I like the spin speed strat personally, but I need to get a little better at executing it. That
Alright,
was
let's see
nicely
what-
done though. First try, just a couple pause buffers.
And count this in a small key. Hopefully no map found on Moldorm. 50-50 between Moldorm and the basement having the last item, I believe.
I believe you are correct. And let's be nice to us, Moldorm. We don't want to go to the basement.
And gets Moldorm down. Let's see what she has, though. Of course it is. Because why not?
Now you gotta make the call. Do I waste more time in this pendant dungeon? And the answer is most likely yes.
Always go basement here. Beautiful moth fight.
It's hard not to commit when once you commit to doing a dungeon like this, you gotta be able to commit to doing the whole thing.
Especially once you've committed to a pendant and you found nothing.
Exactly. You just gotta rip the band-aid off and go. Well, nice little sword beam
It's the
setup.
iframes. Oh, we're getting a pet check.
Oh. Oh. We got a potion on Lumberjack and a potion on the ped.
So I guess we're maxing out at 2 bottles today. Oh dear. Well, at least you know.
So when these runners first hit
Empty.
Dark World, yeah, nothing in here unfortunately. But when these runners first hit Dark World, my instincts were like, they have everything they need to beat Pod except for a fire source. I'm like, a Pod would be a good gamble if you could make it at this time, and I mean, it's starting to look like something's going to be in Pod because we've checked almost every other in logic location.
I think this might be our last location here besides Pod. That was kind of a little close for comfort.
Yeah.
Is it?
And just a heart. Full heart.
Oh,
container.
actually made it on 13 hearts there, I think.
I don't like to do 13 hearts personally. 14 hearts with no safeties, and I'll do it. But 13 is you gotta have a bottle or something. I'd hate to make it all the way and die.
Yep. Same.
And Dracaris giving us our Death Mountain. He'll be picking up that Canis Samaria right away.
Nothing on the wish. I think we already saw it earlier.
Yeah, Dracaris made his dip in here. Most likely wanted the potion refill. And you get a free check while you're doing it. But yep, here we go. We're going to pod. I imagine Lamp will be in here. I guess there's always Eastern Palace. Neither of these runners did go into Eastern.
Oh man, you're right.
And that green pendant is in Logic.
It depends where the big key is.
You're right. You're right. If the big key is in its vanilla location, then the green pendant is not. But that's just a rude spot for the big key to begin with.
Yeah.
I like having the option to skip that whole sequence. And if you're in go mode and you're trying to do Eastern Palace and the big key is over there, it's just like, wow, I basically didn't go mode this dungeon at all. Kiki gonna take his fee right away. $110 or rupees.
And let's see. Come on, Pod. Gotta have something, right?
Yeah.
Or else your light world neighbor does.
So right now we are Flippers, Boots, and Quake Medallion from Go Mode. And Lamp. But I don't think either of these runners most likely need it.
Yeah, probably not.
It would be nice to have, at least for the Ganon fight. You know, if you have no silver arrows, it's a little easier to hit the torch glitch. And
You
Misery
do have half.
Mire.
Do have half magic and a bottle. You got some leniency if you don't get torch glitch.
Definitely. Mr. DNA is gonna shoot down some mimics and head up to the bow locked portion of pod.
Alright, what's it gonna have for us today?
Big key. Small key.
Right key, wrong size. Ooh,
Oh!
boots!
Those are nice. Gotta go fast. Yeah, now imagine you had access to this right when you had Dark World.
I was
But,
thinking Dracaris was gonna do it, but ended up going to Catfish and Zora instead.
yeah, if Dracaris stepped in here, he would have had boots, over about 20 minutes earlier than now.
Yeah,
That would be a huge advantage.
that's gonna feel bad. was the big key.
Dracaris has given us some Herapod as well.
And a piece of heart. Nice
Nicely done.
Terrapot.
Yeah, we're getting some dark rooms, so we won't be seeing Mr. DNA here for a little bit.
Bombs. And a compass. And bombos. Oh dear. What was that we were saying about Turtle Rock before?
It's looking scary now. And if you'd have did pot earlier, you would have had that bombos when you're up the mountain. All those
Okay.
things is what starts going through your head when you check one of the locations you could have checked at the same time as something else, but you had to coin flip and went somewhere else. You start finding all the goods and you're like, oh man, my opponent could have easily done this.
Helmetsword King's gonna have the map, but it is a crystal, so gonna go ahead and do that. Alright. Control arm down for the carries.
Will he check the basement and be disappointed?
Likely. I mean, you're looking for multiple items and you've already dipped. Yeah, he's going back in.
Yep. It's hard not to.
So, you think they'll go Eastern?
I doubt it. Maybe, but when you got it's so easy to mirror and just run into it right now. But at the same time, you got boots, which desert is now available, which then puts your graveyard ledge, or not graveyard ledge, but King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks and
Pyramid
the
Fairy.
bomb. Like it opens up so many options.
But at the same time,
Oh
no.
no, I think he's stuck. Yeah, good thing he has
Fine.
the Canis Samaria.
Here's the thing though, right? It's Sphere 1, half of it. So yeah, it's pendant, but that's about the same as skipping mini Moldorm mini Moldorm Cave.
It's not hard to run back to though, but you definitely would lose time if you had to run back. And the thing is, if you go in there, you're gonna feel obligated to complete it just because it's the green pendant.
Yeah, it's 4 items. But again, Sphere 1.
Yeah, I mean, Sphere 1 can have anything. And the game gave you that bow nice and early.
That it did. And the Fire Rod wasn't too late either. It was, Village
And
Outcast?
yeah, the Village of Outcasts. And the bombable hut.
I hear a kitty.
You could hear my kitty? Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, it seems quiet. Hey, there's
Baba.
Andrew Karras opts to leave it behind.
And Mr. DNA, opting to skip Eastern for now.
Oh, now I hear him.
Kitty comes. Alright, let's see if anything good is in desert.
The cat is most likely cheering for me to be done commentating so he can get some love. The cat wants both people to be on total jet seats.
There's the big key. And a map. Okay, so the big chest and the boss will have an item. Let's see what they are.
I'm definitely a fan of Mr. DNA's plan of going to desert and doing these boots locations.
Piece of heart. Yeah, I guess.
Because it is a quick trip back to Eastern, and there's just not a whole lot left. It's a coin flip basically,
So,
and you've already completed another pendant dungeon, Tower of Hera, and you go into Eastern and maybe even have to go into Turtle Rock. It's like you don't want to have to dip all three if you have to. The Moon Pearl was back of Escape.
yes. Oh dear. I was the most unhappy kitty.
Having headphones on, I don't really hear it sometimes, so he's actually fairly tame right now. If he gets worse, I will have to do something. maybe
I don't
let
think
him in.
anybody minds. Beautiful 2-cycle. Butter sort. Alright, well that's a guaranteed butter for both runners.
Yep. And not much else from Desert. Maybe I'll be doing that 5-6 crystal turn in. At the big
Awesome.
bomb.
That looks like exactly where he's going.
Well, as I expected, Mr. DNA is headed to check in that big bomb. Most likely will route in his catfish as well. Actually, no, he'll probably do the boots checks.
Yeah. I no. Lin-
I think the lamp could be here.
yeah, I guess so.
It would be slightly rude, but it is possible.
Chimeras, 300
And
rupees.
nothing.
So let's see. We can't logically access ice. Swamp and mire are out of the question. That leaves pretty much boots checks and Turtle Rock and Eastern.
Yep. Oh, didn't stop in time to get that arrow off and bonked.
Yeah, but again, Sphere 1s.
Yeah, it it's true. You almost don't want to leave Sphere 1 locations like to be unchecked ever. Because yeah, they literally can have anything. It's true. No one does want to dive it, but the answer is pointing to Turtle Rock. Looks like Mr. DNA is going to give us the Catfish and Zora, and then
I
most
mean,
likely he'll save and quit to Sanctuary and do his boots checks.
uh, honestly, the answer could be both.
It's true. We do need 2 items. We need to find the Quake Medallion and the Flippers.
Yep.
Mr. DNA opting to not do the splash deletion. He did mention that he is a newer runner to the community, so maybe he hasn't practiced that too much, but he's performed really well. Pretty good execution from everything I've watched so far.
I mean, if nothing else, that as well, but just made it to the third round of brackets.
Mm-hmm. And he is facing against Dracaris, who is one of the favorites to win the tournament. He
And
actually, I
he's
don't
in
think
the lead.
he hasn't dropped a game yet at all. He's 2-0'd everything. Like, the only loss he would have had this entire tournament was in the bye race where he placed second behind Dragon Strike.
Oh man, that's right.
And DNA is slightly in the lead, just by crystals alone. It seems like Dracaris has been kind of mirroring his locations.
Where is DNA going?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Maybe the Smith chain. I don't think he did the Smith chain.
Oh, no, he's going north.
Oh, Graveyard Ledge? Okay, he wants to do Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks all together.
Fair.
Well, only find bombs up here and Graveyard Ledge, but Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb could have some value.
Well, let's see our boots checks. There's the land. So logically double dip pod.
Oh, yuck.
That's indeed.
ZSR gross, I believe, is what we're looking for.
There's the sellers. So nice items, but
Not
not
what we
exactly
needed.
what we were looking for.
Yeah. Two unique items, but two unique items that we weren't looking for. But nice to have both of them. And Dracaris will most likely be making his way around there too, so he won't be missing out on either. No one has checked Bombo's tablet. We are almost out of checks till it is Eastern and Turtle Rock, and that is it. And we are getting our Turtle Rock play.
Yep. Well, let's see if it's here. Have we really not seen Bombo's tablet?
We have not, nope. Just because of where we picked up the book in Checkerboard Cave, both runners have already checked that Hype Cave area with the mirror.
Ooh, I just want to point out, Drak gonna do a nice little bomb dupe here, gets it. So if you screen transition or mirror, it's not frame perfect, but it's decently precise. As the timer hits 0, the bomb will return to you, basically. Not quite sure why that happens, but it works.
I'm pretty sure that explains 90% of the tricks in this game.
You're not wrong. Explanation for 90% of the tricks.
Yeah.
You do two things at the same time and the game breaks.
And just a bunch of keys so far in the front of Turtle Rock, which is to be expected. Dracaris is starting to make up a little bit of ground, it seems like. They've completed all the same crystal dungeons. So it's really whoever finds the next items they need. It will be in the lead. And looks like ooh. Ether, totally not needed. But Dracaris will be
Wasn't
making
close for comfort.
yeah. A little close. Yeah, as I was saying, Dracaris will be making his way also to Turtle Rock, so continuing to mirror in Mr. DNA's footsteps at the moment.
Um, well, we're halfway through Turtle Rock. Just the compass there.
Uh, yes, I think Mr. DNA still has the Smith chain left. Um, Other than that, I think they have both checked all the same locations up to this point. Both of them have left Bombos medallion, and only Smith chain is left behind from Mr. DNA, who will now be checking Mimic Cave, which on the 50,000 seed chart is, I think, the last or second last location for placing an item.
Wait, which was?
Mimic Cave for having a useful item.
Oh, let's see what's here in the big chest. 20 rupees. So that leaves Crystal Roller, Laser Bridge, and Trinex.
Whatever we need, it's most likely on Laser Bridge. That's how Turtle Rock works.
This is gonna feel really bad if there's nothing here, though.
Oh yeah, because then you go back to that moment of being like, I was right outside Eastern and I left.
That never feels good.
Mr. DNA is a little bit low on hearts here, and I don't think he has a potion.
Gonna use the hookshot eye frames, though.
He
And
also
no,
doesn't. He doesn't have an invincibility item, so might have a little bit trickier time with laser skips. And oh, he has boots. I forgot.
that,
He's
and
okay.
there is always safety door.
Yeah, there is the safety door, which most likely will get used. Yeah.
Oh, don't die before getting there. Yeah, there you go. Gosh.
I was in that same situation he was in right there with the beetle coming back at you, and I swung at the beetle to keep him away because I was at one heart, and I bounced back into my bomb and killed myself.
Oh, gee.
It was so painful.
So this is a little bit of game knowledge. And it doesn't come up that often, but if you fall in a pit and get 1.0'd with a laser and die, I believe it hard locks your game.
Oh. Don't do that.
Yeah, I've seen it happen once, and it's like, what happened there? And they're like, he got 1.0'd by a laser and died. And it's like, oh, well, that is a good piece of info to keep in mind.
Laser Bridge is empty, but there is an item on Trinex, I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure, but that is our last chance.
We'll see right away because he'll need to switch to that Canis Maria.
It could still be Bombo's tablet, but
It could still be.
the worst, frankly.
Yeah, there is an item here.
Hey.
Well, both runners will be making the full clear of Turtle Rock, no exceptions. Oh, you know where else Mr. DNA still has, and which hopefully he hasn't forgot about, just
Ooh.
because you don't want to forget about stuff. And that
What's
death
that?
is not good. But I was leading to Agina's cave. Not that there's
Please.
anything there,
And
but
checkerboard.
he
Or not
checked
checkerboard.
checkerboard.
Desert Lip, sorry.
Yeah,
But I think he thinks he got both of those.
yeah, he
And
must.
perhaps he did, and we just missed it.
That's also a possibility. Well, Dracarys gets the bad news and finds out he has to beat Trinix. And hot on the heels of Mr. DNA.
Yeah, that does unfortunately evening them up pretty much. Alright, that's phase one. Oh wow, beautiful. Alright, what's it gonna be? Try next, please? Pretty please, I beg you? No! It's standard compost! Oh no! Oh, that feels so bad!
Eastern or Bombos? Where are you going? Or potentially other Smith Chain and etc. checks.
Oh! They've already done some checks. The only things left
DNA hasn't
are
done Smiths.
Bombas and Eastern. Yeah, but we've seen them.
Yeah, that's just where it's where he's headed, unfortunately. And oh, checking the pedestal, most likely.
I mean, can you
Which
blame him?
will,
Already has 2 pendants.
yeah. And it looks like Dracarys will be giving us that Bombos tablet.
Oh, those pendant baits, though. There's the news from Mr. DNA. Alright, moment of truth. But even if this is the answer and not Eastern, that still feels really bad.
You hope it's Quake.
There's the flippers.
That's unfortunate because now you're going to be dipping into Swamp and Ice Palace for sure. No more go moding those.
Yeah, and watch it still be Eastern with the Quake Medallion.
Which could still be a possibility.
But I think that both runners are probably going to last location that at this point because they probably are like, if that's the answer, I have lost.
Yeah.
I know I sure would be thinking that.
Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like both of them know how they picked up the book and where it was, that they would have most likely already been by that area. So it's going to be out of the way for either person. So most likely neither of them took it, and hopefully you both last location it would be my thought process there. It's like, yeah, it's not like if it was an Eastern Palace, and that's, you can't really do anything about that. You know that that was available. You got Sphere Wand.
Yeah, it could still be Eastern though. Like I
Yeah,
said.
it really could.
And they're both gonna last location that I imagine if it is.
Yep. I guess that's the thing. When you make a call to skip a location when you're right there, you're not coming back there unless you run out of options.
I mean, 'cause at that point you're like, if it's there, I've lost because it's Sphere 1, and my opponent very likely went and did that, you know, 15 minutes in.
We're just stuck here now playing the waiting game. Where is that Quake medallion? Are you gonna
Yep.
make us beat all the dungeons and check all the chests just to find it hidden somewhere silly? Like on Sarashahala?
Oh. I could totally see that happen. There it is.
Alright.
And at 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 30 or so seconds, Dracarys is in go mode.
Probably doesn't feel good about that Turtle Rock clear, but
Nope.
thankfully for him, both runners made that choice. But it's one of those things too that it was so tempting early on to it's giving you everything you need to go up to Turtle Rock and no need to go in it at all.
And just interestingly, absolutely nothing in the Pendant Dungeons today.
Yes, you're right. All of them have been bait. And that was an excellent Argus kill with the hookshot strats and the dashing into the little puffs to kill him quickly, and then a silver arrow.
And there's flippers for Mr. DNA.
Oh. Is he gonna go to Ice Palace? Oh. Maybe he just forgot about walking back to his portal. Got excited.
Alright, Dracarys just has to go mode Ice Palace. And go to Meyer, and then it'll be time for the guessing game.
I like how we are polar opposites in the big key guessing game. I like to guess 2 and you like to guess 22.
Yeah, it's an old tradition.
Yeah, I can't blame you. I do find it hilarious that you were leading on one of the leaderboards from guessing 22 all the time.
Yes. I mean, one of those times I guess 17 because reasons. Primarily the runner I wanted to win didn't have Samaria, but anyway.
And Dracarys, nice work with the bomb jump. Just cleaning his way through Ice Palace while Mr. DNA is getting deep into Swamp. Hopefully he skips left side as well, and he'll be rewarded with the Quake Medallion.
Gonna go to the bottom first, that's fine.
Yep.
Alright, time for Cold Stare.
Yeah, fully loaded. This should be a very quick fight.
Oh yes, temper, or not temper, Better Sword and Fire Oh man, that's actually a decent strat.
That was perfectly executed. I don't know how you could have really done that any better.
Oh, another little tidbit of game info. So that statue you have to push around in Swamp, if
Yep.
you hook dash before you get to it, and you push it around, you can lift that pot on the first try every single time.
Hmm.
So, mind your time save. There's go mode for Mr. DNA.
And couldn't resist opening up one more chest. He might as well clean it out. I'm not sure
Probably
what
a
he would be
safety.
looking for.
Maybe
Yeah,
a safety.
he did opt to grab that bottle when he dug it up.
That's good.
But or maybe yeah, well he's gotta know he's a go-boat. He obviously knows he's in go mode because just the hesitation to want to pick up the other chest.
Ow.
Yeah, I mean maybe the cape for the Ganon fight, but Butter Sword, Silver Arrows, Blue Mail, you should feel pretty comfortable. But the cape is one of my favorite items in this game because when I was a kid, I loved that cape. I would get half magic and cape, and I would just laugh because nothing could hurt you. I'm like, I could just run through everything and beat him up with my sword.
Dogmire!
Oh, how nice is that?
Oh, baby.
You made me search for this Quake medallion. Thank you for at least giving me an easy ride through your dungeon.
Right? Alright. Where was Cape again?
Oh, that's actually a good question.
Nope, Berna was on the library shelf. Waterfall. Fairy.
Yeah. Right, because
Do it.
Mr. DNA didn't splash deletion.
Beautiful, spooky.
That first shot there is a tricky shot. If the anti-fairies aren't lined up right, and if your shot is too high or too low, it won't work. So, very well done.
Alright. Time for a blink and you miss it fight.
Yeah, and that was one of the hardest bosses in the game. Sure didn't look like it. All right, it is that time.
Alright, for chat. There are 22 chests and location in the basement of Ganon's tower, where the big key can be. Get your guesses in. Pick a number integers only 1 to 22, sorry. Where do you think the big key will be? I'm guessing 22, and I believe he's just a boy put in 2.
Yep. No, my 2 is ideally in the Stalfos room because I like to do the Dark Magician variant. I don't think 69 is a good one, but maybe. um, yeah, I like to do that, so I think of the Stalfos room, but most of the time it ends up being the Hope room because it's this more common way through GT. And you guys are almost running out of time to get those guesses in. About 15, 20 more seconds before we close up the guesses.
As Dracarys enters Ganon's tower, we will be closing.
And Mr. DNA is also gonna. Oh, he should have kept using that butter sword. Either way, still a really clean fight through the cold stare.
Nice little hook speed there to speed things up a bit.
Oh,
And looks like he's taking your route.
Yeah, we're getting that Stalfos check.
Right, it's not 1.
I'm a huge fan of this route because, like, at least the variant of it. So you go to Stalfos, and then you go right, but you don't go all the way right to the Armos Knights. You leave them for last, and it has a chance of losing time through a little bit of backtracking, but also a chance to gain a tremendous amount of time if you would be locked out of going to the right side, and this way you're guaranteed going there every time. So
I
yeah, if
believe
there was no
the-
oh, go for it.
Sorry. Oh, I was just gonna say, I believe the originator for this route, Dark Magician 1184, basically said the only reason he did it was because he didn't like having to kill the Stalfos.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I do it too. Stalfoses are my least favorite enemy in the game, so if I can avoid them, it makes me happy. But I think it's good. It's a really good route. It can be risky if you take it all the way to the Ice Armos. But in a situation exactly like we're in, if Mr. DNA was to go Hope Room and the big key's over here, you save yourself an entire GT clear.
So, fun fact, the only time a small key can be on the right side in Compass Room is if the GT big key is also in the Compass Room. At least so I've been told.
I don't know if I've ever seen a small key there, but it's definitely not something that stands out in your memory. When you've opened up thousands upon thousands of chests, small keys disappear. And nothing
Same
in
thing
that.
with.
Oh, I was just saying nothing in that cross.
But the same thing applies with Meyer, the vanilla big key chest and the chest above it.
You're right.
If one has the small key, then the other has to have the big key.
That is actually really, really good game knowledge. Knowing that if you check that chest and you see a small key there, every single time there'll be a big key up in the cutscene chest. I don't know why it works like that, but since I found that out, I was very happy because it's been consistent for me.
So the reason that is that normally that, due to like key misusage reasoning, will normally be locked by 3. Oh, there's the big key.
There it is in Rando Room.
But
Thank you,
The
Jinxie, for keeping track of the counting.
Congratulations
Oh, our tracker.
Nori.
Yeah.
To our tracker, but the reason for that is that normally with the key miss usage it'd be 3, but the big key actually locks a small key door. If you actually go down to where you place the Samaria block in that first dark room, and you go right instead of left at the bottom, there's a key door there that leads to 45 rupees, I want to say.
Oh. Just one of those silly things. That's, I guess, I mean, whoever checks there. I know of like there's a key in a pot somewhere on the northwest side of Meyer.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But onto the gauntlet.
Yep. More Stalfoses. I like to throw pots at them personally.
I like to use the Bombos medallion, but that is so slow. But it works every single time without fail.
That's true. You got a 100% success rate. Ooh, nice little snipe with that arrow. And I'm assuming he'll have a nice little setup here. Yep. 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, one cycle. Wow, that was beautiful.
I like that too. There's if you dash through the room and then you bonk off the ceiling, it's like it just gives you just enough time for a nice little setup of 1, 2, 3 arrows.
Yeah. Alright, let's see if you can get the second reserve room. Yep, it's that as well.
Really clean gauntlet for the most part so far for Jacaris.
Yep. Down to the torch rooms and then Moldorm 2. Alright, Mr. DNA in Ganon's Tower now.
And him checking Hope Room first. A little more of the standard route. And would be faster this time, so that's a bonus. Probably only going to save about a minute, but not enough to come back at this point, with Dracaris getting ready for Aghanim 2.
Well,
and the run's validated.
But bad things can happen.
It's true, bad things can happen. I try not to think about it as much as I can. I'm pretty sure it was Leslie Pro who got himself frozen at the end of a Ganon fight.
It's a double there to finish him off.
Yeah, pretty good Aghanim fight. Knows his geometry or whatever it is fairly well. And most likely going to make quick work of the big bacon man himself, Ganon.
Has Butter Sword, has Silvers, has Lamp, has Fire Rod. Pretty much fully equipped. Has Cake.
Yeah. 15 hearts. Blue mail. Even got that fire shield just in case. The fire bats will never be stopped by it. But just in case.
Alright, that's on to phase 3.
Yeah, nice and quick.
That's 6, 6, 4, and then 4 silver arrows. Did you know it's actually possible to get 4 silvers on the same stun on Ganon?
I have seen that once, and I was quite shocked because I didn't think it was possible. That may have been
Beautiful
one of the
triple.
opportunities.
No, I don't think so.
But definitely a good triple setup. I mean, just the opportunity to get 4 shots would just be so rare. Just how it usually ends up.
So that
But
is finished
GG.
for carries with an official time of 1:40:29. I think we will. I'm not sure if we're getting him in for an interview.
Oh, Mr. DNA must have been saying GG. Yeah, stopping. Oh,
Yep, that's
actually,
forfeit.
it looks like he's forfeiting. Yeah.
Hello, GG's both of you.
GG.
So, how about that seed?
Those flippers, man.
Oh, you got stuck too? That could have been a jet seed for sure.
Those flippers got both of you.
Did you
And
do TR as well?
Yeah, I went into Turtle Rock looking for the flippers because it was pretty much down to either that or Eastern Palace or the Bombos tablet. So it was like, yeah, the seed gave me everything for Turtle Rock. I even found the lamp, so it's probably in there, right?
It had a lot of options early on for you guys to go to Turtle Rock, it seemed like. And it totally makes sense missing the Bombos tablet. There's no reason to go back there. You guys checked everything else in that area.
Yeah, well, the Smith chain was... I hadn't done any of the Smith.
Yeah, but you did the like Hype Cave and K45, all those chests. It's kind of hard to want to go back for Bombo's medallion.
Yeah, and I went and did Graveyard kind of as a bit of a Hail Mary just to see if I could luck out a bit.
You actually were leading the majority of the race, Mr. DNA. Dracaris did a lot of early overworld checks, and you eventually ended up checking them just because of the location of the flippers. But otherwise, yeah, you had at least a dungeon, maybe a dungeon and a half lead. It seemed like through the majority of the race. So, GG to you. You played really well tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I'm actually quite happy with that.
Dracaris, like what I'm wondering what your mentality was going for those early checks. When I saw you heading to the pyramid early, I was wondering, I'm like, are you going to go into pod, or are you checking the pyramid and then maybe coming back to pod? But if you would have dipped into pod early, that could have been really nice, picking up those boots.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I had hammer and bow, so I was able to complete it. But I was pretty low on hearts and safeties, and didn't want to risk dying to the turtles in the dark room. So just put it off for a bit too long, probably, because then I got sidetracked by mitts and flute and everything.
You didn't have the fire rod, I guess.
Yeah, I got that one after dipping into Skullwoods, because I started at Hype Cave and then went just Pyramid Catfish to clean that up, basically, and then I went to Village of Outcasts and got my stuff from Skullwoods first, and then got my fire rod. And when I got my fire rod, I had flute, I had hookshot, I had the mids, so I just did Desert Maya area and the mountain instead.
I think my best play of the whole match was remembering to check Dark Cross when I did the.
Yes. Yeah. Going back in there and not leaving that one unchecked.
Yeah, and maybe to everyone else it seems minor, but that was so, like, it was at the back of my mind the whole race, and it felt so good to remember it and get rid of it.
Yeah, with because that fire rod had that in logic fairly early, so knowing that there's always something hiding there, and Math Girl and I the whole time, or Math Girl especially, was like, there could be something in Eastern, like that's Sphere 1, like anything could be in there, and both you guys left it right after Pod.
Yeah.
Which thankfully you didn't do it, because there would have been nothing in there too.
Yeah, that was a classic. If there's something there, I've already lost the race type of play.
Yeah. But is there anything else you guys want to say?
Just our next match is tomorrow at the same time, so if it happens to work out, maybe we'll see everybody again.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. I probably won't be able to catch it because I have a race at the same time tomorrow. So.
Oh, there you go. Enjoy, and GG Dracaris, that was great.
Yeah, GG's, and thanks for the restream.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes, it was a really exciting race, as always. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in for our continuing coverage of the Challenge Cup. Like Dracaris and Mr. DNA said, they will have a race tomorrow at the same time. We'll see what we can do to get that restreamed. It was definitely a very exciting matchup. Thank you to our commentators, He's Just a Boy and Math Girl 718, as well as our tracker, Nori Nato. And thank you to our runners for allowing us to restream. Thank you for chat for always joining in and having fun. And please continue to tune in. We will have a lot more coverage of our Challenge Cup races. So thanks.